Very well. So you have this. Also try to move this from mm, this to over here. I have to zoom in. There it saw something. What? Well, I mean, yeah, we have to because if not, it will end up being like a tinier font than what might be uh, readable at all. So yeah, let's see. Let's make this tinier. Close. Mm. We have audio. I mean, I can check now. That is the reality. I can check now. If we have audio, we should supposedly have audio, no? Let me see. We have audio, no? What? Why is my I have my I have my headphones a little bit higher than normal. Let me see now. Is it normal? Yeah, it is normal. It isn't that loud, so that is fine. What do I have to do something with this over here? Right? I think no. Okay, I can close this. Then I can move from here to here. This is working, so no problem. We have the book over here. Yeah, we have. We're having a problem, and that is I can't get the microphone to work properly. What is going on with all of this? Okay, there we have the book. It is being registered as something that exists, basically. So that is done. Do I have something else? I have this, I have the audio, I have the book. Well, I can try to close some stuff to have it a little bit better working, just in case. Yeah, I can also try to check stuff to see if I'm not missing anything at all. Mm, I would, I would have to put this over here. What's going on? Uh, no, no, no. Okay, nothing over here. So I can ignore this. Yeah, I should be up. I should be probably. I think so. I think so. So, anyways, yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't think I have that much more to do. Ah, I remember why was it that I had that thing open. Aha, now I remember. Let me see. I wanted to have this open because I wanted to do something in the meanwhile. We have like 5 minutes, so I have like some time to try something, I guess. Also, hello, Leula. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are doing fine. Mm, yes, certainly, potato. Mm, let me see, this fits over here. Yeah. Okay. Something like. Sorry if it is that that I think it is kind of obvious. If you know about it, it is the meme song about, yeah, Harry Potter. We we have that as the intro song. I was kind of thinking about it before, and we might need to have a better, a real, um, I don't know, starting soon screen sound, background music, something like that, because this one doesn't really suffice anything at all. But yeah, yeah, we have that so far. But at the very least, it's a funny gag, I think. Okay, I did this. How much did it take me? Okay, I have still like 3 minutes. Let me see. Hmm, I can sense this. Okay. So now I shall try to do something like. Something like this. Um, with the profile picture, I don't know. I think it is also very very random. I guess. And also hello Savannah, hello. I hope you're doing fine, so. Let me see this over here. And okay. Uh, what's that? We should be. Oh yeah, I finished in time. Damn son, I finished in time. I did well enough, I guess. ah, am I really losing hearing? I don't feel like this is as loud as it used to be before. I might be really going deaf. I don't want to think about it today. Anyways, how much? Okay, 15 seconds. But here we are. Uh, yeah, basically here we are. We did everything that we had to do so we can fully start this without any other problem or distraction. So, ta-da! Hello everybody. Um, Here we find ourselves in yet another occasion, and in this case, sharing the possibility of consistently being for a second day in a row here. So I guess that means that we are doing fine, and that we are doing probably better than when we got the chance of doing so. Despite other things that might as well be out of order, because it certainly means that I am not doing well in other areas, I guess. But it to a certain extent, it isn't my problem, anyways. So yeah, here we are. Um, I hope, as always, that we can have a great time. Uh, well, I kind of said it before. Um, Hello, everybody. Hello, lurkers. Hello, watchers. Hello, viewers. Hello, everybody. Um, in this case, in particular, um, we have obviously to say the obligation to say hello to Lola and to Savannah Pure, who were here before all of this started. So yeah, particularly hi, and I hope that you are both doing fine. Today we have, as I wanted to continue with that, I guess, with my still latest obsession with the Mahabharata. I was still interested in continuing with the book and with trying to see and trying to read a little bit about it, as I haven't had that much time to really do kind of pure hobby reading alternating things since the last time that I did so here, basically. So to take the opportunity and do it once again here and to share all of that experience and to not be so lost in what ends up being a book is also nice, I think. So yeah, basically that is the objective today, I guess. Um, I I don't have that much more to say so far. We're doing fine. We're we're getting to places, I guess. I don't know how to say it. we're doing stuff. So that means that we are properly putting the work into what needs to be done. And, well, after all, how to not be happy with all of that notion? Well, I yeah, I don't think I have that much more to add. I said, well, yeah, I was thinking about it, and I said it very shortly that we are kind of lacking a proper introduction music because I never realized how much of an important thing it might be to have a background music that you can enjoy in a manner in which you can kind of feel what the vibe is while also noticing that it has the intention of letting you get accustomed to what might be the whole vibe of the upcoming stream. And I certainly don't think that as long as we have something so scuff as it is the flute song of the Harry Potter, um, yeah, main main theme song, we can really say that wow, this is in any way whatsoever clear about what happens here because as yeah, I think there are always things that could be better. We can try to see that it is true. This isn't the most a professional stream in any way because certainly there is a lot of scuff as always, and even more there is a lot of stuff that has to deal also with realizing that we don't have that much of a capacity of kind of getting into a more professional ambience, I think. So trying to change things like that might be interesting. And well, I mean, seeing that, I also realized I had some other works to do and such that I might have neglected. And that is on my end, but yeah, those are things that now that I consider, I might as well try to write down shortly, probably when the time for the break comes. Because so far, yeah, so far we have only one particular obligation, and that is to do our best with regards towards a reading or beautiful book that is Mahabharata. So yeah, let us get back into what is the objective at hand. Um, to complete Mahabharata. Wow. Let me see. So yeah, we have this over here. And here we are. Um, as this is basically where we left, or well, not exactly where we left. Um, this is this is more appropriately where we left last time. This is where we should continue from now on. Canto 48. Basically, we had been analyzing and kind of seeing what was all of the story coming to this point about the different. In this point, I think it was about um, how many different things needs to get in order for the Pandavas, as in the main kind of main characters of the story, to take action towards their supposedly greatest enemies, that is the Gurus. So we have been seeing and analyzing how everything is starting to be set in motion so that they can fully realize their plans and craft something capable enough of dealing with different problems while also, mm, yeah, the other part is always what we tend to do here, to try and see what different ideas might be held behind the simple text that we analyze, because certainly, as it happens with what ends up being considered a kind of sacred text, it is kind of a disservice to say that, oh wow, this is only a story about, in this case, what is, yeah, what is the Mahabharata and what are the Pandavas and all of that. There is always deeper knowledge, and there are different ways in which the metaphor is utilized to try and convey ideas. So to break them down and to take out from them what might be a useful lesson or at the very least a good reminder about any particular concept is interesting. And even more, when we consider what is the Mahabharata itself, we end up finding out that without using metaphor, there are still a lot of ideas, types of advices, and kind of guides towards living what could be considered on, yeah, on the Hinduistic belief, a good life. Because certainly it is full of wisdom of in that sense. Not simply wisdom, more like, yeah, proper explanations that can be translated into nowadays still. So was what little garage? Hello, browser. Are we working? What's about this? Uh, what was crash? I don't know why. Anyways, basically that. That is kind of the shortest thing that I can say about what is going to happen right now. So yeah, basically that. Here we are. Now, um, I shouldn't have that much more to add. Let us simply, yeah, let us simply start with this. No, wait, yeah. Before that, let me drink a little bit of water, as I might want to do it. But yeah, I hope I didn't lose the capacity of kind of minimally properly pronouncing the names and all of that. It has been like a week or so since the last time I did it. No, like 2 weeks, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, long time ago it was. Anyways, yeah. Um, Now, properly starting. Um, Canto 48. Intralocavigamana parva continued. Karamehaya said, surely the feats of Partha of measureless energy were certainly marvelous, O Brahmana. What did the Haratirashtra of great wisdom say when he heard about this? Vaisambhayana said, When Ambika's son, Dharatirashtra, hears about Arjuna's arrival and stay in Indra's realm from Dvaipayana, first among rishis, he says to Sankhya, "O Sarathi, do you know everything about what Arjuna did from beginning to end? All that I have just heard?" Sankhya, my wretched, sinful son, even now pursues the most base and vulgar policy. Ah, his soul is evil, and he will surely unpeople this very earth. The illustrious man who speaks the truth, even when he speaks in jest, and who has Arjuna to fight for him, is certain to win the three worlds. Who that is even beyond the influence of death and decay will be able to stay before Arjuna? When he loses his barbed arrows whetted on stone, my brother sons, who must fight the invincible Pandavas, are all doomed. I think about it night and day, but do not see the warrior amongst us who can withstand the wielder of the Gandiva. If Drona, Karna, or even Bhishma advanced against him in battle, a great calamity is likely to befall the earth. Even then, I do not see the way to our victory. Kama is kind and forgiving. Acharya Drona is old, and besides, he is Arjuna's teacher. But Arjuna is wrathful, strong, proud, and of firm and steady prowess. All these warriors are invincible, and a terrible battle will take place between them. All of them are heroes skilled in weapons and of great repute. They will not wish for the sovereignty of the world if it was to be bought by defeat. Indeed, peace will be restored only after the death either of this or of Falguna. But there is no one who can kill Falguna, no one who can vanquish him. Oh, no, I am the object of his anger. How will that rage be quenched? Equal to the king of the Devas, that Kshatriya gratified Agni at Gandhava. He subdued all the monarchs of the earth during the occasion of the great Rahasuya. O Sanjaya, the thunderbolt falling on the mountain top leaves a portion unconsumed. But, child, the shafts shot by Kiriti leave no wreck behind. As the rays of the sun hit this mobile and immobile universe, so will Arjuna's shaft scorch my sons. It seems to me that the legions of the Bharatas, terrified by the clatter of Arjuna's chariot wheels, are already broken through on all sides. Vidhatri has created Arjuna as an all-consuming destroyer. He stays in battle as an enemy, spewing swarms of arrows. Who will defeat him? And yeah, that is Canto 48 if I'm, yeah, 48. I think there isn't that much to really address so far, aside from one minor concept barely mentioned. That is basically this. I don't think it can even be that much considered because it is more like simply a quality of what ends up being Yudhishthira, as in context. Yudhishthira is another one of the Pandavas, and he's also somebody who is going to fight against the Kurus and all of that. Also, the brother of Arjuna, who is being mentioned here, and all of that. But the point in particular is the illustrious man who speaks the truth, even when he speaks in jest, might as well be considered something in my head important because it is mentioning the quality to which we can kind of be part of or try to aspire to have, because it certainly shows that even if we are doing things in a playful manner, there is no necessity whatsoever of lying. And this is what kind of gets implied here, because the illustrious man, as in Yudhishthira, has not even in those conditions in which it might be quite comprehensible for somebody to utilize lies to make the playground something more adept to everyone, not even in those conditions, try to do something of that sort. And it simply doesn't talk about the quality of one man, but rather something that can be transcribed here into the overall quality that everybody might try to have when it comes to observing how it is that because we don't possess any particular obligation towards being or changing our ways when it comes to being playful or not, enjoying our time or not, but rather to try and remain, as it says, or as it is implied here, to try and remain mm, close to the truth and to the reality. By doing it, it is that we can then be, in this case, considered someone that is illustrious and not simply, yeah, illustrious doesn't simply mean that you are in any way um, good and that's it. It is more, yeah, it is rather talking about the quality of being capable of, in this context, living in a world in which others might see your value. But yeah, something like that, basically. But that is already kind of a deeper observation than what might all of this simply be, I guess. So, something like that is still understandable, I think so. But yeah, continuing, I guess. Or, yeah, continuing so far. Not that much more to add. Yeah. Here, Canto 49. Intra Lokavigamana Parva continua. Sankhya says, all that you say about Duryodhana is entirely true. Nothing that you have said is untrue. O Lord of the Earth, the sight of their pure wife Krishna dragged into the Sabha has filled the Pandavas with rage. They have been so incensed to hear the cruel words of Dusasana and Karna that they will never forgive the Kurus. I have heard how Arjuna pleased the god of gods in battle with his bow, Stanu of 11 forms, wanting to test Falguna. Illustrious Kapardin assumed the guise of a Kirata and fought him. And there it was that the Lokapalas revealed themselves to that Kurudishabha and gave him their weapons. What other man on earth except Falguna would strive to see these gods in their form? Rahan, who will weaken Arjuna in battle when the eight form Maheswara could not do so? By coarsely dragging Draupadi into the Sabha and shaming her and enraging the Pandavas, your sons have brought this terrifying calamity upon themselves. When Bhima saw Duryodhana bear both his tides to Panchali, with quivering lips, Brigodara said, Wretch, I will smash those tides of yours with my mace when 13 years have passed. All the sons of Pandu are the greatest warriors. All of them have immeasurable energy. All of them are masters of every kind of weapon. Not the gods can vanquish them. Incensed at the insult to their wife, pretty sons will kill all your sons in battle. The Haradirastra says, O Sarati, what mischief Karna did by speaking savage words to the sons of Pandu? Was not enough enmity provoked by bringing Krishna into the Sabha? How can my evil sons live, whose eldest brother and preceptor does not walk the way of Dharma? Seeing me blind, Sankhya, and incapable of exerting myself actively, my son believes me to be a fool, and does not listen to what I say. The wretches who are his counselors, Kama, Sakuni, and the others, always pander to his vices, because he does not see light. Arjuna's arrows, even if he shoots them lightly, can consume all my princes. What then? When he loses them in anger, why, arrows shot by Arjuna's mighty arms from his great bow with mantras spoken over them, can turn themselves into astras which can punish the devas themselves. He who has for his counselor, protector and friend, that scourge of sinners, the Lord of the three worlds, Hari himself encounters nothing that he cannot conquer. O Sanghaya, we have heard that the Lord Shiva himself clasped Arjuna in his arms. All the world knows what Falguna did, with Krishna beside him to help Agni in the Gandhava Vana. So, when Bhima, Partha, and Vasudeva of the Satwatas are enraged, surely, my sons, with their allies and the Subalas, are no match for them in battle. And that is Canto 49. Um, hmm, is there really anything for me to say over here? I wouldn't. I consider there is like one minor detail to be or to try to analyze, probably, but it doesn't really seem to be that clear to me if this is minimally like this or not. I mean, hmm, I think we can still try because what gets what this one what what gets said here is oh yeah I mean we can take the whole paragraph in this case. Um, this particular paragraph is simply talking about I think yeah talking about the different qualities that possess the firstborn of the Kurus, being Sanghaya, who certainly doesn't behave in any good way, or mostly doesn't behave in any good way. So, the main point to try and consider is what might as well, yeah, what might as well be very clear that not only if we have bad will in our heart, it is that we're going to take bad decisions, because something that is very important to what Sanghaya represents is his, yeah, his existence was preceded by a very clear sign that he was going to be, as they will say, a rotten type of fruit. So it means that it was kind of predestined for him to do bad and for him to not fulfill kind of a good role in society. But it doesn't simply mean that it was like that from the get-go and that he had no chance of changing this. Because throughout the whole story so far, we have observed how Sanjaya almost never repented, or if he quote unquote did so, it was because he ended up being forced to doing so. And in this very short paragraph, we can observe how even his father, who who grew with him and who saw this human pass from being simply a baby to a child to nowadays one of the most important human beings existing on the whole setting of the Mahabharata. Um, all of those things might reveal that it is true things went wrong, but not only from the inner side, but also from the outer side, in which Sankaya was truly ill advised. Does it say it like that directly? Um, no. Yeah. It is being expressed as those the wretches who are his counselors always pander to his vices because he does not see the light in the sense of almost everybody should have the capacity of observing what is good, as in what is the light, But when you as an individual lose the capacity of observing for yourself what ends up being good, thus the light, you end up being driven around by those who want to ensure that you act the way in which they will take the benefits of your actions for themselves instead of what happens most of the time when you act for the sake of your own goodness, you do things for yourself, and maybe others will get benefited as a consequence of your actions. But in this case, the main objective is to reap those benefits directly from, yeah, as the main consequence of your actions. Is it? Okay, yeah. As a if you do good, the subsequent consequences are going to be for others, but the main ones are obviously for you. If you do bad in this case, the main consequences are going to be for others, and the subsequent ones might not even apply to you, as it happens in this case with Sanjaya, who, so far we know, is kind of doomed to die by at the hands of the Pandavas and all of that. But yeah, I don't think there is that much more to really address in this case. I don't believe so. But yeah, something like that, I guess. Continuing, anyways. So far, simply, anyways. Uh, yeah, I think I didn't miss anything so far. They are kind of hard to properly analyze because they are more like a simple conversation, which doesn't have that many deep layers. That is my excuse. Um, anyways, continuing. Canto 50. Entre lo que Villamana parva continue. And Mikhail said, "Oh, Moni, surely, after sending Pandu's heroic sons into exile, these lamentations of the Dharatirashtra were perfectly futile. Why did the king allow his foolish son, Duryodhana, to incense the mighty Pandavas? O Brahmana, tell us now, what did the sons of Brita eat while they lived in the forest? Was it produce of the wilderness or of cultivation?" Vaisampayana said, "Those bull among men gather fruit and roots and also hunt deer with purified arrows. They first dedicate a portion of the food to the Brahmanas and then eat the rest themselves. For, O king, while those heroes with great bows live in the forest, Brahmanas of both classes follow them, those that worship with fire and those that do not. 10,000 illustrious Snataka Brahmanas, all knowers of the means to moksha. Yudhishthira supports Indivana, killing Rurus and the black deer with arrows, as well as other clean animals of the wild, fit for eating. He gives them to those Brahmanas. None who stays with Yudhishthira looks pale or ill, or is lean or weak, or melancholy or afraid, or melancholic, I guess, or melancholic or afraid. Yudhishthira, lord of the Kurus, looks after his brothers as if they are his sons, and his other kinsmen as if they are his brothers. Eh? They chase Draupadi, feeds the Brahmanas and her husbands, even as if she is their mother, and only after they have eaten does she eat herself. Daily, bows in hand, the king himself goes east, Bhima to the south, and the twins west and north, and kill deer for meat. Thus do the Pandavas spend 5 years in the Gambhya in some anxiety at the absence of Arjuna, and engage all the while in study, prayers, and sacrifices. I mean, Yeah, that is Canto 50. But okay, the reality is, I think, there might not be that many things to add so far to this and the other cantos. Um, you can conclude that certainly they are living well besides their conditions and besides the different limitations that they have to go through and all of that, and that they are in this case, for example, capable of sustaining a following because obviously they are incredibly famous around the whole world of the Mahabharata, because they are renowned as people of great importance. So it shows that they are kind of endowed with the possibility of obtaining a title that shows to others how necessary it kind of is their existence in this case and their subsistence also. But it doesn't really convey anything particular. There, as in, there is no lesson to be learned from this, I guess. I mean, you can try to convince yourself that wow, because they are doing well, you can also see how you might do well. But what has been already discussed is the Pandavas are no way close to being normal human beings. They are probably the closest thing to divine that we have seen in the Mahabharata. So there is no way to in which you can try to dilute yourself so as believing that yeah, now you will also live as equally good as them. Kind of impossible, I think. But yeah, that is in in a very shortly manner. This canto resumed. They are doing well, and they have still to wait for Arjuna, who is yet to come back, but not that much more, I guess. So yeah, um, continuing after I drink some water. So yeah, um, as I said, continuing. Canto 51. Indraloka Vigamana Parva. 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 Um, Intraloka Vigamana Parva continued. Vasampayana said, Ambika's son, Taharatirashtra Purusharishabha, listens to this account of how the Pandavas live in exile and is filled with grief and dread, overwhelmed by dissection, sighing heavily and sweating. That king says to Sanjaya, Sarathi, I have not a moment's peace, day or night, thinking of my son's terrible conduct during the gambling, and also thinking of the heroism, the patience, the high intelligence, the unbearable prowess, and the extraordinary love for one another of the sons of Pandu. Among the Pandavas, the illustrious Nakula and Sahadeva, born of Devas and as splendid as the king of the Devas himself, are invincible in battle. They wield their weapons powerfully, loose their arrows over great distances, are resolute in battle, of remarkable lightness of hand, of quenchless wrath, possess of great steadiness, and blessed with terrific energy. They have the strength of lions and are as inexorable as the Aswins themselves. When they take the field, with Bhima and Arjuna before them, I see, Sanjaya, that my soldiers will all be slain without a remnant. Those mighty warriors, all the Basons, unrivaled in battle by anybody, filled with anger at the memory of Draupadi's humiliation, will show no mercy. The Osumbrishni warriors, also, the Panchalas of Timeless Tehas, and the sons of Brita, led by Krishna, of unbaffled prowess will raise my legions. All the warriors on my side together cannot bear the might of Shastavarishnis, for Balarama and Krishna command them. Then Bhima of dreadful prowess, his iron mace is he who can kill any Kshatriya, will prowl among my soldiers like death himself. High above the din of the field, the twang of the Gandiva will resound, loud as heaven's thunder. No king who is with us can withstand the force of Bhima's mace and the mere sound of the Gandiva's bowstring. And then Sanghaya, obedient as I have been to the voice of Duryodhana, I will have to recall all the rejected counsels of those who were truly my friends and well-wishers, counsels which I should have attended to more timely. Sanghaya says, "This was your grievous mistake, O king, that although you could have stopped your son from doing what he did, you did not out of your love for him. Hearing that the Pandavas had been defeated at dice, Krishna of unfading glory went to the Kambyakavana and consoled them there. Draupadi's sons, too, led by Dristadyumna, arrived in that Vana, as did Virata, Dristaketu, and the mighty Kekayas, through spies, and learned everything those Kshatriyas said there. When they saw the Pandavas after they were beaten at dice, I have told you everything I know. When Krishna met the Pandavas, they asked him to be Arjuna's charioteer in battle. Hari replied, "So be it." Seeing Brita's sons clad in deer skins, Krishna was full of rage and said to Yudhishthira, "During the Rahasuya Yagna in Indraprastha, I saw the prosperity you sons of Brita had, which no other king of the world could acquire. I saw all the other kings, even those of the Vangas, Angas, Paundras, Odras, Cholas, Dravidas, and Andejakas, subservient to you at a great sacrifice, as were the chieftains of many islands and countries on the seaboard, as also of frontier kingdoms, including the rulers of the Singhalas, the Barbus Lechas, the natives of Lanka, and all the kings of the west, by hundreds, and the kings of the Palavas and the Daradas, and the many tribes of the Kiratas, Yavanas and Sakas, and the Harahunas and Chinas? What? China mentioned? The Tucharas and the Sanghavas and the Kagudas and the Ramatas and the Mundas and the inhabitants of the kingdom of women, and the Tanganas and the Hikayas and the Malavas and the inhabitants of Kashmir, all officiated as your vassals at the Rahasuya Yagna, obedient to your summons, afraid of your prowess, O king. I will restore that prosperity to you, which is so unstable now and waits upon the enemy. I will take your enemies' lives from them, Lord of the Gurus, with Rama and Bhima and Arjuna and the twins and Garura and Gada and Sambha and Pradyumna and Ahuka and the heroic Dristadyumna and the son of Sisupala, I will kill Duryodhana and Kama and Dusasana and Subala's son and any others who face us in battle in a single day. And, O Maharata, you will rule from Hastinapura with your brothers, taking from the Haratirashtra sons and their allies the prosperity they are enjoying. You will rule this earth. Rahan, these were Krishna's words to Yudhishthira. When Krishna had finished, Yudhishthira spoke to him in that conclave of heroes. Within hearing, of all those valiant Kshatriyas led by Vistradyumna, saying, O Hanardana, I accepted what you say as truth, but Mahabaho, kill my enemies and all that follow them with 20 years have passed. Cassava, promise me this much, because I gave my word in the presence of the king that I would spend 13 years in exile in the wilderness. Consenting to these words of Yudhishthira Dharmaraja, his counselors, led by Dhristadyumna and the others, pacified the furious Krishna with sweet words. Within Krishna's hearing, they said to Draupadi, because of your anger, Duryodhana will lose his life. We swear it, most beautiful one, so grieve no more. Panchali, those that mock you will reap the fruit of what they dare to do. Beasts of prey and birds of carrion shall eat their flesh, and thus mock them. Jackals and vultures will drink their blood, and Panchali, you will see the corpses of the wretches who dare drag you into the sabha lying on the ground, being dragged about and devoured by wild carnivores. They also that gave you pain and ignored you will lie headless upon the earth, and the earth herself will drink their blood. Those bulls of the Mahabharata said all this and more in that place, O king, all of them endowed with boundless prowess and valor, all of them marked with the scars of battle. At the end of 13 years, those mighty Kshatriyas, chosen by Yudhishthira, led by Krishna, will come to the field of battle. Rama and Krishna, Dhananjaya and Pradyumna, Samba and Yudhana, Bhima and the sons of Madri, the Kekaya and the Panchala princes, with their Matsya kinsmen, all these illustrious, celebrated, and invincible heroes, with their allies and their troops, will come. Who is there who wishes to live that will encounter these in battle? These like angry lions with manes erect, the Dhritarashtra says. What Vidura told me during the game of dice is about to be realized, he said. O king, if you try to vanquish the Pandavas at dice, it will end in great bloodshed, a war which will destroy all the Kurus. It is true what he said. A terrible war will be fought as soon as the 13 years of the Pandavas' exile is over. I mean, that is Canto 51, but I don't see any particular point to make there because it is simply the introduction or another great reminder that there will be an unavoidable war. I guess it is like, yeah, it might fall inside the same category as it does when you find out things like, what was it? This particular guy? Yeah, these particular battles in which they describe it so mm, to the tiniest detail and all of that, but it doesn't really mean anything in particular. Um, what you can extract would be simply the obvious thing, like, wow, they were in fear, or that they were not fully confident of what was going to happen, or whatever, but not that much more in reality. I, I believe so. Uh, Anyways, I guess continuing. Um, Count to 52. Nelopa. What? Nelopakyana Parva. Kalamehaya said, what did Yudhishthira and the other Pandavas do when Arjuna went into Indra's realm to acquire the Astras? Vaishambhayana said, when Bharata goes to the Baloka, those other Ratarishabhas continue to live in the Gamyaka with Draupadi. One day, those best of men, full of sorrow, sit with Panchali upon a clean and solitary rock. They grieve for Arjuna, they weep for him, all of them equally afflicted by his absence, full of anguish at both Arjuna being away and at losing their kingdom. The mighty Bhima says to Yudhishthira, "At your command, great king, Arjuna, on whom our lives depend, as well as those of our son, and the Panchalas, and Satyaki, and Krishna, has gone away. What can be sadder than this? That he has gone bearing so much grief in his heart, depending upon the might of his arms. Think of our enemies as being already dead, and the whole world as belonging to us again. Why? It was for his sake that I restrained myself from dispatching all the Dhartarashtras and the Saubalas there in that Sabha. We are mighty, we have Krishna's support, yet we must perforce suppress the wrath which has been kindled in our hearts, because you are the root of that anger. With Krishna's help, slaying our enemies, we can even today rule the world, conquering it through the might of our arms. Manliness we possess, yet we are overwhelmed by calamity because of your vice of gambling, while the foolish sons of the Haladirastra grow stronger every day with the tributes they receive from other kings. Great king, you should keep Kshatriya Dharma in your side. It is not the Dharma of Kshatriya to live in the forest. If his Dharma of Kshatriya is to rule, you know Kshatriya Dharma, so do not leave the path of your duty. Turn away from the forest and let us summon Partha and Krishna and kill the sons of the Halatirashtra even before 12 years are over. Illustrious King of Kings, even if the Dhartarashtras are surrounded by soldiers in battle array, I will send them to the next world with just my own strength. I will kill all the sons of the Haratirashtra, along with Saubalas, Duryodhana, Karna, and anyone else who fights me. After I have killed all our enemies, you can return to Devana, and so no sin will attach to you. And Parantapa, even if any sin does cling to you, we will wash it away through great yagnas and find a lofty heaven for ourselves. Yes, we might have such a consummation if our king is not unwise or procrastinating, but you are two virtues, and the deceitful must be destroyed with deceit. O Mahabharata, there is no sin in killing the deceitful with deceit. Also, those who know Dharma, I'll say, great Kshatriya, that one day and one night are equal to a full year. The Veda also frequently declares that a day passed in keeping difficult vratas equals a year. Glorious, glorious brother, if the Vedas are an authority for you, think of the time we have spent in the wilderness as being equal to 13 years. More, Parantapa, this is the time to kill Duryodhana and his followers. Otherwise, he will soon bring the whole world under his sway. Ah, Yudhishthira, all this is the result of your addiction to gambling. Already we live in grave peril because of your word given. To go undiscovered during the 13th year, I can think of no land where the evil Suirakanas spies will not track us down. Once we are found, the evil one will send us into exile for another 13 years. Or, if, perchance, we pass the Natavasa undiscovered, the sinner will challenge you to play dice again. And once more, you will lose everything. You are no dice player. And once you sit down to play, you will lose control of yourself again. And yet again, you will find exile for yourself. If You do not want to ruin all our lives. Follow what the Veda says, that the deceitful must be killed with deceit. If you only command me, I will go straight away to Hastinapura, and as a fire falling upon a heap of dry grass consumes it, I will put forth my strength and kill Duryodhana. It becomes you, my lord, to give me leave. Thus, addressed by Bhima, Dharmaraja Yudhishthira sniffs the top of his brother's head affectionately, and pacifying him says, Abajo, beyond doubt, along with Arjuna, who wields the Gandiva, you will kill Suyadhana. 113 years have passed, but, O son of Brita, as for your assertion that the time is complete, I will not dare tell a lie, for falsehood is not in me. Kaunteya, you must kill the evil and powerful Duryodhana and his confederates, but without using deceit. While Yudhishthira is speaking to Bhima, the great and illustrious Rishi Brihadaswa appears before them. Seeing the virtuous sage, the king worships him with the offering of Madhuparaka. When the moon is seated and refreshed, the mighty Yudhishthira sits at his feet, and looking up at Brihadaswa, speaks to him in a piteous tone. Holy One, challenged by cunning gamblers' skill at dice, I have lost all my wealth and kingdom at gambling. I am no adept at dice, and am at one time with deceit. Sinful men vanquish me at dice by cheating. They even brought my wife, dearer to me than life, into the public sabha, defeating me a second time. They have sent me into exile in this great forest, clad in deer skin, and I live here with my heavy heart, full of grief. The harsh and cruel words they pierce me with, and what my friends and kin later said about the game of dice are all fresh in my memory. Thinking of this, I cannot sleep at night, but lie awake in anxiety. I am also without Arjuna, upon whom all our lives depend, and that is like being there. Oh, when will I see the sweet spoken and large hearted Vibhastu, so full of kindness and vitality, return to us, having acquired all the astras? Is there a king on this earth who is more unfortunate than me? Have you ever seen or heard of one? To my mind, there is no man more wretched than I am. Brihadaswa says, Great king, O Pandava, you say that there is no man more miserable than you are, sinless monarch. If you will listen, I will tell you the tale of a king more wretched than yourself. Yudhishthira says to the Rishi, Illustrious one, tell me, I want to hear the story of the king who fell into such misery. Brihadaswa says, O king, who has never fallen, listen attentively with your brothers. I will narrate the story of a Kshatriya more miserable than yourself. There was a celebrated king among the Nisargas named Virasena. He had a son called Nala, versed in ways of Dharma and Artha. I have heard that the Nala was vanquished through deceit by his brother Pushkara and overtaken by calamity, lived in the forest with his wife. While he lived in the Vana, he had neither servants nor chariots, neither brothers nor friends with him. But you were surrounded by your heroic brothers, who are like devas, and also by magnificent Brahmanas, who are like Brahma himself. Therefore, it does not become you to complain. Yudhishthira says, I am anxious to hear in detail, O foremost of eloquent men, the tale of Nala. You must tell me his story. Yeah, but basically that's Canto 52 so far. Um, if I had to take any particular conclusion, it certainly is. Yeah, there are probably like 3 or 4 things to try and mention Kikiro from all of the different ideas, man, that were so far spoken in this canto in particular. And being cautious enough, I will prefer to go with the last one. That is why it ends up being almost a necessity to observe how much of a good place we ourselves are, let's say, as it refers not simply to the quality of, in this case, Yudhishthira not being the human who is doing the worst when it comes to being tortured by others because of his errors, but rather it also deals with how much certainly we have developed nowadays what we call an ego towards different things that happen to us and how we believe that we are somehow more important than others and such. But it really doesn't mean that we are doing the worst or that we are in any way whatsoever going through the worst type of experience. It simply is another part of the whole adventure, born from believing nowadays in our ego that tell us that we are oh so bad and that we are in such a bad place that nobody ever has even been remotely close to us in that sense. And it only is another one of the ways in which we end up almost failing to realize that we have so many things and we have so many opportunities, even when we consider ourselves that we are on our lowest, that to grasp that capacity and to observe and to try and see how much of a reality it is, we can then conclude if it really was as important as we made it appear in our mind, or if we, on the other hand, as it gets shown here, we might as well could have had so many ways in which things could have gone well, but we decided to believe that they were still somehow doing bad. And yeah, it doesn't get fully explained, I would say, but it is still a concept that gets kind of mentioned here, because the objective of the Brahmana, Brihadarasva, is to show Yudhishthira that he isn't anywhere near doing the worst when it comes to the suffering of human beings and whatnot. So yeah, um, that is probably one of the best conclusions when it comes to the last canto. Although I would also consider, and I think yeah, it it deserves to be mentioned because it is the whole way in which Yudhishthira was also capable of calming down his brother, who has been at this point already gotten angry at the whole situation approximately 3 or 4 times, I think. So to see how much you can almost sympathize with others and understand where they are coming from, while also not letting their intentions change what yours are and modify what your final goal is, takes a higher priority than what might be it given at first. Because the speech that Bima gave about the gurus and such, I would say was at this point really full of hatred. I wouldn't believe it was the worst one. I think the first time Bima mentioned all of this situation, it was even worse. I remember it took like 3 pages to just read it, but it still is full of anger and such. So to see that even more now, um, Yudhishthira can swiftly deal with such a situation, might as well reflect back into what I have explained of. We can, even if we feel like our emotions are one against opposing each other, um, we can survive and we can organize ourselves in a way in which it doesn't lead to own destruction. I guess something like that. I don't know, but yeah, basically that. So let me see. We can yeah, we can move into Kanju 53 now. And that is Kanju 53. Nelopa Nelopakiana Parva continued. Briharazwa says there was a king named Nala, the son of Birasena. He was strong and handsome, and master of horses, and possessed of every accomplishment, a king of kings. He was even like the lord of the Devas, exalted above all others. He resembled the sun in glory. And he was. I lost myself, I don't know how. And he was the king of the Nisargas, intent on the welfare of Brahmanas, birth in the Vedas, and possessed of heroism. He always told the truth. He was master of a mighty army, and he was fond of dice. Men and women loved him. He was a great soul, his passions subdued. He was the greatest bowman, protector of his people, and like Manu himself, and among the Vidarbhas, there was another king like him, called Bhima, of terrible prowess, heroic, kindly towards his subjects, and possessed of every virtue. However, he had no children. Single-mindedly, he did his best to have a child. Oh, Maharata, one day Brahmarishi named Damana came to Bhima, desperate to have children. Bhima, bears in Dharma, and his queen received the illustrious Rishi with every reverence. Well pleased, Damana granted the king and his consort a boon in the form of a jewel of a daughter, and also the sons of lofty soul and great fame. They were named Damayanti, Dama, Danta, and Damana. After the sage, the three sons were accomplished in every way. They were fierce to behold and fierce in prowess. The slender waisted Damayanti became celebrated the world over for her beauty and radiance, her good nature, her grace and fortune. Upon her coming of age, hundreds of Sakis and female slaves, all decked in precious ornaments, waited upon her as if she were Sachi herself, while Bhima's daughter shone amongst them like the luminous lightning of the clouds. Damayanti of large eyes was as beautiful as Sri. Not among the devas, the yakshas, or among men had such beauty ever been seen or heard of before. She filled even the devas' hearts with joy. So also, Nala was peerless in the three worlds, for he was as handsome as Gandharva himself. Admiring heralds sang Nala's praises before Damayanti, Damayanati, and Damayanati's praises before the king of the Nishathas. Hearing over and over about each other's virtues, the two conceived an attachment towards each other, though neither had seen the other. That affection grew, and then Nala could not contain the love which was in his heart. He began to pass much of his time alone in the wooded gardens which adjoined his royal apartments in his palace. There he saw a flock of gold and winged swans wandering among the trees, and one he caught in his hands. The sky wrenching Abian said to Nala, I do not deserve to be killed by you, O king. Let me do something for you instead. Lord of the Nishadas, I will speak to Damayanti about you in such a way that she will never want any other man for her husband. The king let the swan go. and the flock rose in flight and winged its way to the lands of the the Vidarbhas. Arriving, the birds alighted before Damayanti and her Sakhis, and seeing the extraordinary swans, she was full of delight, and, along with her mates, tried to catch the sky coursers. The swans fled in all directions, pursued by that bevy of beautiful young women, while each maiden ran after one bird. The one that Damayanti chased led her to a secluded place, and then spoke to her in human speech. Damayanti, there is a king of the Nisharkas called Nala. He is equal to the Aswins in beauty, and has no remote peer among men. Indeed, he is as handsome as Kamadeva, fair one, slender waisted one. If you become his wife, your own beauty and your life will become fruitful. We have seen Devas and Gandharvas, Nagas and Rakshasas, and the best among men, but never have we seen anyone like Nala. You also are an incomparable jewel among women, even as Nala is among men. Happy is a union between the best and the best. Damayanti said to the swan, "Go and say the same thing to Nala." The swan replied, "So be it," and flew back to the land of the Nishadhas and told Nala everything. Uh, is this one short? Hmm. Okay, yeah. I, I I feel like taking a break. I have been almost talking for an hour, so excuse me if it is unprompted, but I might want to take 1 second to breathe and to relax myself for one tiny second. But yes, so far that's Canto 53 basically. Not much more to conclude, I guess. I mean, something minimally interesting is the one of the final things that gets mentioned here, and that is happy is a union between the best and the best, but it might as well be simply deceitful words said by the swan to try and convince, in this case, Nala of not Nala, who is it? Namayanti, sorry, trying to convince Namayanti of doing this particular action of going towards Nala. I don't really know, but yeah, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that it is some rules or something like that that can get fully considered as real and important. So yeah, basically that, I guess. Um, so yeah, we can, we can this sail probably try to take a break of like how much 5 minutes or so, I guess. Uh, yeah, we're going to see how much it ends up really taking, but like 5 minutes should suffice to liberate the mind and such from the distress that is to consistently have to think, I guess. And, but yeah, here we are. We did so far incredibly well. Let's see how we can keep doing after this like 5 minute break. Yeah, 5 minutes of break. Um, as always, thanks for being with me. Wow. was almost 10 minutes. The fuck? I guess so. I don't know. It would be like an option to split stuff like. Oh man. Anyway, here we are. Let me let me do my part now. So yeah, was just in case I was checking when was Max Mokua first stream on here on Twitch, and what I ended up finding out was rather disappointing because it ended up resulting that there is no stream on my time slot. Literally no stream on my time slot. So I can't rate that. This is lovely, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, let's continue with this. This is so bad. No, I I try so hard and fail so bad as they would say. Yeah, continue with this basically. No more excuses. Canto 54. Nalopakiana Parva continued. Brihadas says, O Mahabharata, after hearing what the swan said about Nala, Damayanti lost all peace of mind, sighing repeatedly to think of him. She became full of anxiety and melancholy. She was pale and grew lean. Kama, god of love, seized her heart. She grew paler by the day, and her gaze turned skywards, her mood always abstracted. She seemed to be quite deranged. She lost all her taste for fine beds and seats, and every object of enjoyment, night and day. She would not lie down, but always wept with soft and loud exclamations of despair. Seeing her like that, her Sakis went and hinted about her condition to her father, the king of the Vidgarbhas. King Bhima realized that Damayanti's condition was serious, and he asked himself, why does my daughter seem to be so ill now? Reflecting by himself, the king thought that his daughter had attained puberty and decided that he should host a Swayambara for Damayanti. That monarch invited all the lords of the earth, saying, Kshatriyas, know that Damayanti's Swayambara is at hand. When they heard this, all the kings came to Bhima, filling earth and sky with the clatter of their chariots' wheels, the trumpeting of their elephants, and the whining of their horses, and bringing their magnificent legions decked in ornaments and beautiful garlands. The mighty armed Bhima paid due homage to those illustrious sovereigns, and, honored by him, they began living in his city. At this time, those best of the Varishis, Narada and Parvata, both of untold splendor, wisdom, and stern bows, arrived during their wanderings in Indra's realm and entered the palace of the Deva king, where they were received with reverence. Indra Maghabat worshipped the two and asked after their welfare and peace. Narada said, Divine One, peace attends on us in every way, and, O Maghabat, peace attends also upon the kings of those whole of the whole world. Indra, slayer of Bharidra, said, those righteous kings of the earth who fight, leaving all desire to live, and who die by weapons when their time comes, never fleeing the field of battle, theirs is the Swaraga, everlasting for them, and granting all desires, even as it is for me. Where are those Kshatriya heroes? I do not see those kings coming here to me. Where are my favorite guests? Narada replied, O Maghavat, I will tell you why you do not see those Kshatriyas now. The king of the Vidarbhas has a daughter, the renowned Damayanti. In beauty, she excels all the women of the earth. O Sagara, Kur Swayambara is to take place shortly, and every king and prince from every direction and land is going to that Swayambara. All the lords of the earth desire that pearl of the earth for themselves, O slayer of Bala and Bridra. While they sat talking together, those greatest of the Devas, the Lokabalas, and Agni with them, appeared before the Lord of the Celestials, and they all heard what Narada said, which was of grave import. As soon as they heard him, they exclaimed in excitement, We will also go there! Mounting their various Vahanas and Bimanas, taking their attendants with them, the gods set out for the land of the Vidarbhas, where all the Kshatriyas of the world had gone. Kaunteya, meanwhile, Nala also heard of the Swayambara and set out for it, his heart full of joy and love for Damayanti. On his way, the Goas saw Nala as handsome as Kamadeva. Seeing him splendid as the sun, the Lokabalas were astonished at his wealth of beauty. Leaving their chariots in the sky, the gods flew down to Nala, king of the Nishathas, and said to him, Greatest of the Nishatha kings, O Nala, you are devoted to Dharma. You must help us, best of men, be you our messenger. What? Is there any real conclusion from this? Like, I don't think so, man. Okay, give me a second. Oh, yeah, I don't think there is any particular point that can be made about this because it results that there is really nothing in particular being mentioned here as worthy of being observed, I guess. I don't know. And it was still entertaining, but this particular Canto 54, doesn't have anything at all to take out of it, of real importance. I mean, as we did before, we can try to argument why it is somehow interesting or whatnot, but the reality is there might not be a proper response for this so far. I believe, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, continuing. Um, uh, Canto 55. Nalopakiano Parva. Continua. Brihadaswa continues. O Mahabharata, Nala pledged his word to the gods, saying, I will do what you ask. Then, approaching them with folded hands, he asked, Who are you? And who is he that wants me to be his messenger? And what must I do for you? Tell me. Mahabhat said, We are the Devas, come here for the Mayanti's sake. I am Indra. This one is Agni. This the Lord of the Waters, and this, O King, is even Yama, destroyer of the bodies of men. You must inform Damayanti of our coming, saying, The guardians of the world, great Indra and the others, are coming to your Soyambara. The Devas Sakran, Agni, and Varuna and Yama want to have you for their wife, so choose one of them for your lord. Nala said with joined hands, I too have come here for the same reason. It does not become you to send me on this errand. How can a man who is himself smitten by love bring the sweet of another to the woman that he loves? So, spare me, O Devas. But the god said, King of the Nishadhas, having sworn that you will do whatever we ask, will you now break your word? Tell us quickly, O Nala. The Nishadha king said, Those palaces are well guarded. How can I hope to enter them? Indra replied, You will be able to enter. Saying, So be it, Nala went to Damayanti's palace. Arriving there, he saw, surrounded by her Sakhis, the daughter of the king of Vidarbha, ablaze with beauty. Her form of exquisite symmetry, her limbs so delicate, her waist slender, and her eyes lake and lovely, and she seemed to rebuke the light of the moon with her own luminosity. As he gazed upon that young woman of sweet smiles, Nala's love grew, but wanting to keep his dharma, he suppressed his passion. And when they saw the Naishadha, all those finest among women were overpowered by his radiance and rose to their feet in amazement. Full of wonder, they praised Nala in joy, silently in their minds. Oh, what beauty, what gentleness belongs to this Mahatman? Who is he? Is he Sondeva, or Yaksha, or Gandharva? Quite confounded by Nala's splendor and full of bashfulness, those best among women did not speak to him at all. But although stricken by amazement herself, Damayanti spoke smilingly to Nala, who also gently smiled at her. What are you? Oh, you of faultless features who have come here, awakening my love? Oh, sinless, oh, hero of celestial form, I am anxious to know who you are, and why you have come here, and how have you come undiscovered into my apartments when the king's mandates are stern? Nala replied, Beautiful one, my name is Nala, and I come here as a messenger of the gods. The devas Sakara, Agni, Varuna, and Yama want you, lovely one. Choose one of them for your lord. It is through their power that I have entered here, unobserved and unobstructed. Gentle one, the gods have sent me here on this mission. I have given you their message, most fortunate one. Now, do as you please. I think David's conclusion can be how, despite everything else, Nile is still capable of holding himself back. Because given so far the story that we have been seeing about how Nala and Damayanti had been interacting, or not interacting, existing, besides, yeah, besides the knowledge of the other, to be capable of holding himself back ends up representing a rather amazing achievement because it shows that he was, I mean, the Tuesday, he was capable of not acting on what he had felt for so long. But I think it is still interesting, but it also has some minor problems, like analyzing how it is that he was capable of doing so, because so much of the pressure also gets born from understanding that this was all kind of um, orchestrated by the gods. In a sense, he probably wouldn't have restrained himself if it was any other, yeah, any other situation. I don't know. And those are ifs, but so far, yeah, that's the only important point from this particular side of the story. Anything else is besides this. So yeah, um, we can simply continue. I guess. Um, Canto 56. Nalupakiana Park continue. Brihadaswa says, Damayanti bowed to the Devas, then said to Nala with a smile, O king, love me with proper regard, and command me what I shall do for you. I myself and everything precious which I own are yours, magnificent one. Grant me your love in complete trust, For what the swan said burns in my heart. Kshatriya, it is for your sake that I call this Swayambara, and for your sake I, who adore you, will take my life with poison, immolate myself in fire, drown or hang myself. Nala replied, when the Lokapalas asks for you, you will choose a man? Turn your heart to those great gods. I am not equal to the dust on their feet. If a mortal displeases the gods, he certainly finds death. Save me. Oh, you of faultless limbs, choose the all excelling Devas by accepting the gods and show you wearing incomparable garments, unearthly garlands of myriad hues and divine ornaments. What woman will not choose Udasana for her lord? He who devours the earth, what woman would not choose Yama for her lord? From dread of whose danda all creatures tread the way of Dharma. What woman will not choose for her lord the virtuous and high-souled Mahendra, the king of the Devas, the scourge of Datyas and Danavas? Or, if you choose Varuna in your heart among the Lokapalas, do so without hesitation. Lovely one, I beg you, accept my friendly advice. Her eyes, by now swimming with tears, Damayanti says to Nala, Lord of the earth, bowing to all the gods, I choose you for my husband. Truly, do I tell you this? The king, who had come as the messenger of the gods, replied to the trembling Damayanti, standing before him, folded hands. Sweet one, do as you please. Having pledged my word to the very devas, who can I dare seek my own interest? If seeking my own interest coincides with Dharma, I will seek it. And, beautiful one, you must also do the same. Her voice choked with tears. The Mayanti of luminous smiles said slowly to Nala, Lord of men, I see a blameless way, on which no sin whatever will attach to you. Best among men, come to the Swayambara with all the devas led by Indra. There, O Kshatriya, in the presence of the Lokapalas, I will, tiger among men, choose you, and then no blame will be yours. Having heard this from Damayanti, Nala returned to where the devas were. Seeing him, the gods asked him eagerly about what had happened. Kshatriya, have you seen Damayanti of the sweet smiles? What did she say to us? Sinless king, tell us all. Nala replied, at your command, I entered Damayanti's palace of lofty portals, guarded by veterans guardsmen with wands in their hands. By your power, no one saw me as I went in, other than the princess. I saw her handmaidens, and they also saw me. Most exalted devas, they saw me and were filled with wonder. And even as I pressed your sweet to her, oh, you best among gods, that beautiful princess said she had her heart set on me and chose me for her husband. She said to me, Purushar Viagra, let the devas come with you to the Swayambara, and in their presence I will choose you for my lord. At this, Mahabaho, no blame will attach to you. Oh, devas, this is all that transpired, and now everything depends upon you. A probable transcription of what can be observed here is that certainly when we're given the chance of choosing something higher, but we still go for what can be considered humane and what can be considered, in this case, the gift of enjoying being with the one who we love the most. In those instances, we can say that truly we do love that, yeah, those people, to that person, that particular important one in our life. So, in this case, what I already forgot her name. Damayanti, sorry. What Damayanti mentions can be observed as probably the best type of behavior when it comes to all of this type of, yeah, of occurrences, I guess. But yeah, besides being so interesting, it also has a lot more to offer, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, that's basically everything for Canto 56, I guess. So moving on into Canto 57, Nelopakiyana Parva continued. The Hadass was continuous. At the secret hour of the holy lunar day of the auspicious season, King Bhima summoned the kings to the Swayambara. All the lords of the earth came with alacrity to his city, all of them keen to have Damayanti. The Kshatriyas entered the great hall, decorated with golden pillars and a lofty portal arch, like mighty lions entering the mountain wilds. Wearing fragrant garlands and polished earrings hung with jewels, the kings and princes sat down on the fine seats provided, and that sacred assembly of kings, graced by those tigers among men, resembled the Bhagavati swarming with nagas, or a mountain cape with tigers. They were mighty, resembling iron maces, and well shaped, and graceful, and looked like five-headed snakes, with lustrous locks, fine noses, eyes and brows. The faces of the kings shone like the stars in the sky, and when the Muhurt arrived, the exquisite Damayanti entered that great hall, dazzling the Kshatriyas, stealing their gazes and hearts. The gazes of those illustrious kings were riveted to those parts of her person where they had chanced to fall first, and never moved. O Mahabharata, when the names of the monarchs were proclaimed, Bhima's daughter saw five men, all identical in appearance. Seeing them sitting there, no difference whatever between the five, thought filled her mind, for she could not tell which one was Nala. All five looked exactly the same, and all of them seemed to be the king of the Nishathas. Anxiety sweeping through her, the princess thought, "Who will I know which are the devas and which my love?" Grief had its way with her. She thought of the signs and marks attributed to each of the devas, but saw none of these upon the five who sat before her. Long she thought, and hard, and then decided to seek help. To seek the help of the Lokapalas themselves. She folded her hands, and bowing down to them, mind and body, the trembling Damayanti said piteously, "Since I heard what the swan said, I chose the king of the Nisharyas as my lord. For the sake of Dharma, and I have never swerved from my love in my heart or speech. For that's truth, let the devas themselves reveal him to me. The gods have decided that Nala will be my lord. For that's truth, let them show him to me. Since I have taken this vow to pay homage to Nala, for that's truth, let the gods reveal him to me. Oh, let the exalted guardians of the world assume their own forms, so that I may know the good king." When the Locapazzle saw how firm her resolve was, how fervent her love for Nala, how pure her heart, the gods reassumed their natural forms, which they had hidden. She saw the awesome ones, skins untouched by human sweat, eyes wingless, garlands unfading, no speck of dust upon them, feet never touching the ground. Nala Naishadha stood revealed mortal, his garlands fading, himself stained with dust and sweat, feet resting on the ground, and his eyes blinking from time to time. O Maharata, when she saw which of the five were the gods and which Nala, Bhima's chaste daughter chose Nala for her lord. Bashfully, she sits to the hem of his robes and draped a bright and graceful garland of flowers around his neck. A great cry of regret arose from the other Kshatriyas, while the Devas and Rishis cried out in wonder and approval. O Gaurabia, the royal son of Virasena, Nala, his heart filled with joy, said to the beautiful Damayanti, "You have chosen a mortal. Well, you have had a god. This day you shall have a husband obedient to your every wish and command. And, oh you sweet smiles, I swear that as long as there is life in this body, I will be yours and yours alone." Damayanti, also, with folded hands, paid homage to Nala in similar words, seeing Agni and the other devas. The happy couple sought their protection in their minds. When the daughter of Bhima had chosen Naishatha for her husband, the Lokapalas of blinding effulgence, their hearts' bliss, bestowed 8 boons on Nala. Sakara, the lord of Sachi, blessed Nala with the boon that he would be able to see his deity during sacrifices and that he would attain blessed realms after this life. Upasana bless him with the boon of his own presence whenever Naishatha wish, and realms. Also, Paraitas himself, Yama granted him subtle taste in food, as well as preeminence in Dharma, and Varuna, the Lord of Waters, granted Nala his own presence whenever the Naishatha desired, and also garlands of heavenly fragrance. Thus, each Lokapala blessed Nala with 2 boons each, and having blessed him, the gods returned to Swarga. Having witnessed with wonder and delight Damayanti's choosing of Nala, the kings of the world also returned to their kingdoms. When they had gone, Bhima, well pleased, celebrated the wedding of Nala and Damayanti. Nala remained in the Vidarbha city for some while to please Bhima, and then returned to his own home. Having married that pearl of a woman, Nala now passed his days in joy with Damayanti, even as Indra does with Sachi, like the sun in glory. He ruled with Dharma, and his people were all satisfied and happy. Like Nuhusha's son Yayati, the brilliant Nala performed the Aswamedha Yagna and many other great sacrifices, and gave abundant gifts to Brahmanas. Truly like a deva, Nala dallied with Damayanti in romantic woods and charmed groves, and he begot on his lovely wife a son named Indrasena, and a daughter named Indraseni, thus performing countless sacrifices and making love with Damayanti. Nala ruled the world, and it was a time of grace and plenitude. I am. Hmm. How much? Okay. How let me see. Let me see. Let me analyze this. Who? What? Why are there all so short? What? What's going on? What? Let me see. I think we can finish this probably. Uh, can we finish this in one stream? No, right? Hmm. This one canto is longer than almost all the others. What the fuck is this? Why is this one so long, man? What is? What is wrong with Canto 64, man? Why is it so long? Yeah. Uh, yeah, we might try to read the shortest ones before moving on to. We're going to stop at 64, I guess. If I am not wrong, 64 is preceded by these very short ones, right? Like this one, this is two, three, 4, 5, 7. Okay, we have 7 cantos to go. I don't know how much that will take, but we will try. We will try. Ah, but yeah, so far I think there is no real no, yeah. I don't see a real conclusion to take out from Taken to 57 in particular. I mean, the biggest one is, as I said before, that the woman chose still the man instead of the gods. That is the biggest way to prove that you really love someone instead of going for what could be God. Such an easy thing as going with supposedly the highest being. But yeah, I mean that is kind of obvious when it comes to beliefs that such kind of tests are going to be, yeah, are going to happen, are bound to happening. I guess I don't know. Uh, Anyways, continuing. Canto 58. No la pacchiana parva continua. Brigadas USAs were the blazing guardians of the world, were returning to their homes after the Soyambara. They saw Tuapara and Gali approaching them. See Gali, Sagra said. Oh Gali, say where you are going with Tuapara. Gali replied, Sakra, I am going to Damayanti Soyambara, and I will have her for my wife. What? For my heart is fixed upon that young woman. Hearing this, Indra said with a smile, that Soyambar is already over, and she has chosen Nala for her husband. Kali, vilest of the celestials, was filled with wrath and said to the gods, since she there chose a mortal, when the devas were present, she must suffer a heavy consequence. The devas replied, it is with our sanction that Damayanti chose Nala. What young woman will not choose Nala, who is blessed with every virtue? He knows his dharma, always conducts himself with rectitude. He has studied the four Vedas together with the Puranas that are regarded as the fifth. He harms no living creature, speaks only the truth, keeps his vows faithfully, and worships the gods with sacrifices in his house. In the tiger among men, that king who is like a Lokapala, dwell truth, forbearance, knowledge, asceticism, purity, self control, and perfect tranquility of spirit. Oh, Kali, the fool that wants to curse Nala, who has such character, curses only himself and destroys himself by what he does. Kali, he who seeks to curse Nala of such immaculate virtue, sinks into the wide, bottomless pit of hell, rife with torments. Saying this to Kali and Dwapara, the Devas went to their heavens, and when the gods had gone, Kali said to Dwapara, Dwapara, I cannot contain my anger. I will possess Nala, deprive him of his kingdom, and he shall not sport any more with Mima's daughter. Enter into the gambling dice. You must help me. Canto 59. No, wait. Yeah. There was a particular thing to consider in this Canto 58, sorry, before moving on, and that is that certainly when we talk, I think this hasn't been the first time a concept like this is mentioned, if I'm not wrong, but when we talk about people that's supposedly so perfect, a recurring theme appears that is, in this case, it is expressed as the fool that wants to curse Nala, as in the perfect man, who has such character, curses only himself and destroys himself by what he does. Referring to this, I see it as idea of not even being not capable of cursing somebody so quote unquote perfect, but rather realizing that when we decide to take such an opposing stance towards something now, someone who can be considered so properly perfect, What we're only doing is harming ourselves, and in this case, it is expressed as curses only himself and destroys himself by what he does, because the efforts towards such a problem can only be understood under the lens of sacrificing what is our existence for the sake of trying to slander what in these cases can't even be slandered. So yeah, certainly it is interesting to say the very least. But it also has other sides, I believe. And yeah, I don't really argue that much more with this one idea. Because it seems very logical in the sense that you can see it happening in the daily life. When somebody mm, has such a big spite towards someone else, and they decide to act based only on spite, lives certainly turn for the worse. But yeah, I think it is still interesting to consider this, even if it is a very short mention of this concept here. Uh, Continuing now for real. So, sorry for delaying it. Canto 59. Nello pacchiare parva continued. Brigadazwa says, having made this compact with Dwapara, Kale came to the city of the king of the Nishathkas, always watching for an opening. The slightest lapse from Nala, he continues to dwell in the country of the Nishathkas for a long time. In the 12th year, Kali saw his chance. One day, after answering the call of nature, Nishatka touched water and said his twilight prayers, but without having washed his feet. Through this ritual lapse, Kali entered into him, and having possessed Nala, he appeared before Nala's brother Pushkara and said to him, "Come and place dice with what? Come and place dice with Nala. I will help you and you will certainly win. Defeat Nala, and when his kingdom ruled the Nisharkas, escorted by Kali, Pushkara went to Nala, and Dwapara also came to Pushkara and became the main dice called Brisha. Appearing before the warlike Nala, that slayer of hostile heroes, Pushkara repeatedly said, "Let us place dice together." Thus, challenging the presence of Damayanti, the lofty-minded Nishatha could not refuse for long. He fixed a time for the game. Possessed as he was by Kali, Nala began to lose all his stakes in gold, silver, chariots with their teams of horses, costly garments, and maddened by the dice, none amongst his friends could make him stop playing. O Mahabharata, the citizens in a body with the chief councillors came to see the king and make him stop. The charioteer came to Damayanti and said, "O queen, the people and the officers of the state are waiting at the gate. You must tell the king that they cannot bear the calamity which has overtaken him. Overwhelmed by grief, almost mad from it, Bimbo's daughter spoke in a choked voice to Nala. The loyal people and the councillors are at the gate, waiting to see you. You must grant them audience." But, possessed by Kali, the king did not reply to his desperate wife. At this, the people and the officials returned to their homes in shame and sorrowing, saying among themselves, "He does not live." Yudhishthira, for many months Nala and Pushkara gambled, and the virtuous Nala always lost. Yeah. Well, this is probably the last one that I'm going to read. I noticed that also my voice is starting to give up sadly. So yeah, this is the end, I guess. Um, I didn't expect that to happen, but yeah. Canto 60. Nelopagia la parva continued. Ricardasua says, Bima's daughter, the calm Namayanti, saw her husband maddened by the dice, and she was full of alarm. She saw how critical the situation was, for he had lost almost everything. She said to her nurse and maidservant Brihatsena, "Go and summon the councillors in the name of Nala, and tell them also what wealth has been lost and what remains." The councillors heard Nala's summons and said, "This is fortunate for us." They came to the king, along with all the people, for the second time. Damayanti informed Nala of their coming, but he ignored her and she returned in shame to her apartments. Hearing that the dice rolled constantly against Nala and that he had lost everything, he said again to her nurse, Brihatsena, "Go again in Nala's name and fetch the charioteer Barsneya, for this is a crisis." Brihatsena had Barsneya summoned by trusted servants, and the blameless Damayanti said softly to the Sarathi, "You know how good the king has always been to you. He's in trouble now, and you must help him. The more the king loses to Pushkara, the more ardently he wants to play on. The dice falls obedient to Pushkara and roll against Nala. He is so possessed by the game that he does not listen to his friends and family, not even to me. Oh, Sarathi, I seek your protection. My heart is weak within me, and I fear the king will come to grief. I beg you, yoke Nala's favorite horses, swift as the mine, and take these twins, my son and daughter, in the royal chariots to Kuntina. Lead them there with my king. Sarati, and then do as you will. Either remain there yourself or go anywhere else that you please." Nala's charioteer reported what Damayanti said to the chief officers of the king. With their assent, he then set out for Vidarbha, taking the children in his rata, leaving the boy Indrasena and the girl Indraseni, and also that best of chariots and those finest of horses with Bhima, and his heart full of sorrow for Nala. Varshneya, the Sarathi, wandered here and there for some time. Then, arriving Ayodhya, and entered the service of King Ritapurna as his charioteer. Yeah, this is basically it. This was the latest short canto that we are going to see. If I'm not wrong, after this one we have like two not so short cantos, and after that we have the long canto. Ah, no, wait, it is canto 64, so yeah, we have like three medium cantos, and after that the incredibly long canto 64, so yeah, this is probably a good point to stop. I guess we're advancing with the story. As always, it has a lot of different conclusions to make from every single thing, so it gets kind of overwhelming when we try to do it consistently. Here in this case, for example, because I didn't do it before, I think we can find that the whole desire for let me think. I think it is something like okay, yes. Damayanti basically wish to maintain her lineage, even if everything else were to go completely wrong. And it doesn't invalidate what is happening here, but rather it is only invigorating this narrative in a sense in which you can observe that truly now this can get moved into the concept of we are as humans so capable of striving towards trying to survive that we have the tendency of asking almost everybody who wishes to do so to help us, because what we wish for the most is the survival of ourselves in almost every kind of situation. So this is reflected here by seeing that probably the king is going to take the worst route possible. So before he does so, her wife decided to exile almost the child instead of having the possibility of losing them also because his king lost his mind basically. But yeah, it's very understandable so far. I see at least, so I believe everybody else can make sense out of at the very least this one canto. It isn't um, that complicated. It is simply expanding a little bit on what is already the main theme of this one canto. At least that's how I perceive it. So yeah, basically that. Um, with that said, we can also say that so far, for today at the very least, we're um, we're kind of done. I guess. I yeah, I have no more, almost no more. Not that I don't have energy. It is more like I find myself lacking the voice capacities. I yeah, now that I remember, I did some exertion of my own voice without paying complete attention to it, and that might have hurt a little bit my palate and such. I don't know, but anyways, we have it up. That is the main thing. So we can now say that we did well. Well, yeah, basically we can conclude this one session saying that we were capable of surviving it more than anything else. So yeah, happiness. How to not be happy? Knowing that once again we got the chance to progress with all of this craziness. Uh, yeah, I will probably try to come back tomorrow also, seeing that so many things on on the other side of my life are going so incredibly weird. I think I have the possibility of not, yeah, of not having to worry so much about stuff unrelated to being here. Therefore, we can share time once again and we can continue with all of this adventure because certainly it is magnificent to do so, and certainly it is also one of the most amazing things to try and do when we have the possibility offered to us. And well, yeah, basically that's everything so far. We were pretty much done for today. As always, I think if it isn't always enough, thanks for being here, thanks for watching, thanks for looking, thanks for watching the world, thanks for everything. It was another pleasurable experience to share, and we will see how we do on the next one. So far, this one has come to an end. And well, if we don't get a chance of finding ourselves gathered all around here in the future, at the very least, we know that we enjoyed what we had with this one. So, please, for the sake of keeping yourself safe, do the best that you can to remain alive, to be properly hydrated, to rest if it is needed, to do the things that you know you must do. Well, until that happens, we are going now leave. Whenever we can, we are getting back here. And if not, at the very least, we had a nice one. Thanks everybody, and goodbye.